a freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here, coming down to the iteration of Dude After Dark. Of course, this one being a special occasion. I'm basically playing with the tax guys. Yipes. Anyway, so that is really... Yeah, sound guy. It's really... Okay, I don't know about the first part, but it's definitely feeling a little bit more like the second part. Anyway, way shape before which we found ourselves running a couple minutes late. Sorry about that one. A little belated because, doing tax stuff. Yipes. Which we found ourselves doing tax stuff. Okay, sound guy, could you come up with something maybe a little bit different than whack stab? We're talking about taxes. Okay, anyway, thanks, sound guy. Basically, we find ourselves,
You asshole.
Okay, sound guy is not a huge fan of taxes.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Reload.
You asshole.
Okay, I think that you have established very nicely that, well, he's not a fan.
You asshole.
He'll get around to stopping any time now.
Sarah Connor.
I don't think he's doing it in order. All right. Anyway, which we found ourselves around doing the show, good stuff like that there. I'm still contending with, tax stuff. That was literally running around trying to get everything to, stop being so unbelievably obnoxious. Let me see what I got going on here. Hang on one second here. Let me go back over to my stuff. Looking at my channel. This way I can catch up on things and, good stuff like that there. And I can actually see what's going on in the chat room. People now entering into the chat room. Good stuff like that there. And I don't have to worry about,
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Okay, that was the Shartinator. That was not the Terminator. Sound guy, stop that.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
That's just disgusting, okay?
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Oh, stop it. I got the stop button now. Stop with the Terminator, okay? Jesus. He's got it bad, folks. He's really got it bad. All right, I want to get into the news stories. Can we do these things, sound guy? Please? Please. I just want to get into the news, as it were. Okay, so let's get into the news. Unfortunately, it has now come to pass that at the age of 65 years of age, dealing with long-term side effects, numerous surgeries, throat cancer, all kinds of esophageal type of stuff. Obviously, there's all kinds of secondary health issues. Val Kilmer has passed at the age of 65. So in that extent, shall we say, lift up your glasses, raise a toast, and we toast you, sir. You did some really cool movie roles, and I really truly enjoyed your acting stuff. It's good stuff. Definitely check out his catalog. Val Kilmer passing at the age of 65. To absent companions, sir, we commend you. Cheers. Fresh tiki juice, mind you. I found this to be kind of an interesting component of everybody's like, oh no, Wisconsin is so hosed because the Republican lost. It's going to be such a traumatic thing. Everything is going wrong. Well, not really. It's more just a case of, you're going to have another very stridently leftist judge taking the place of another stridently leftist judge. So it's not like anything is really truly changing up all that much currently in the area of Wisconsin. So I saw an excellent point made by somebody on Twitter, and the guy said essentially this: don't black pill this. Number one, it was a liberal judge replacing a liberal judge. That's nothing all that amazing going on right there. However, this is absolutely huge stuff coming out of the state of Wisconsin, which tends to run sometimes more purple or blue. Anyway, the 4-3 liberal court is still 4-3 as it has been for 2 years. Trump gets people to turn out like nobody else can. Judge Schimmel is not Trump. The voter ID won. I'm going to use the Trump phrase, hugely, with a Y, hugely. And they pulled that thing out, and it was like 70, 80% vote. 79%, I think, was the actual vote. They want voter ID, even in liberal, purple, tending towards really bluish Wisconsin. Not even thinking about it. They want voter ID. 2026 is forever away in political time. Many things will positively affect the midterms between now and then. That will be much more important than this election. And I'm paraphrasing it a little bit here, but that came in from Bill Mitchell at Mitchell VII. So I guess he's saying like 8 or 7. Yeah, Mitchell 7, I think is what that is. If I'm thinking like, the Roman numerals. Never really had a good time with those. They're always kind of like, VIAII, It's like, eh. But there's a reason why they did that on movie copyrights, is they didn't want you to know how old the movies were. Now seeing as how IMDb says very plainly, Thor's Hammer, it is the year or so this movie was produced. Patriot Fever in the room, appreciate you hanging out, dude. Patriot Fever on station with sarcasm. Medics at the ready, sir. He also said in the room, we also don't know how many people from CHIT Chicago voted in Kenosha. Well, that's probably a good reason, a very good reason for the voter ID. And like I said, even in purple / blue / really, really stridently, sometimes squishy-ish, very squishy-ish, even that area of Wisconsin was going, dude, nah. Nope, not gonna do it. Nope, and more nope. Excuse me, I got Java here. Fresh, hot tiki juice. Anyway, scrolly. This one kind of cracked me up, and I was being a smartass when I saw this meme, but I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I think this is actually something posted up in the UK, but it's a poster on the wall, an anti-smoking poster, and it said, cigarettes are like squirrels. They're perfectly harmless until you put one in your mouth and light it on fire. No smoking. Well, me being the smartass that I am, said, well, yeah, but there's a hole on either end. At which end do you light? And which end do you suck on? More importantly, how many draws do you get before the thing tries to eat your face? Don't smoke squirrels, okay? don't smoke squirrels. Oh, man. I don't know if you heard about this one. No, it's like the whole huge pissing match going on in New York City right now. Supposedly the illegal problem that's been unbelievably monstrous in New York City has had a ally of the Trump administration, surprisingly. So former police guy Eric Adams worked with Trump. And what did they try to do? Well, they tried to do lawfare on him. It failed miserably. And if you know anything about the court system, you know anything about laws, when something is closed and it is a closed case with prejudice, that means it is denied to ever be charged on that charge ever again. So the crap that they threw at Adams has been closed with prejudice. Translation, he's now free and clear of that lawfare crap they tried to throw at him like they tried to throw at Trump. It failed miserably. And of course now, obviously the Supreme Court ain't gonna even look at it. Also, the major thing is, of course, now Trump has basically, said, okay, well, you're not a huge ally of mine, but, hang on. I'm a hometown boy, okay? I'm going to side with New York in more than a few cases. And more importantly, this guy truly did step up and say, no, we're going to try to fix this problem with all these legals. And they try to screw him for it. So, he was a Democrat. And what did he do now? Well, New York City mayor has now left the Democrat Party. And in front of the re-election stuff, he's now deciding that he is going to be an independent. And so that's where that one's coming from. I'm okay. Mrs. Dude's waving something at me off camera. No, I'm okay. Thank you. Let's see. Scroll. So he decided he was going to become a independent. So the same thing. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say there, Patriot Fever. You can at the same thing about females. You're going to have to give me some reference, dude, because I go quick. And literally, it's like I have a mind like a spring. it's either straight or it's just kind of going ear. I don't know what's going on next. Scrolly. So anyway, he's left the Democrat Party. He's now become an independent, which I think makes things kind of more than a little bit interesting sometimes for the political side of things in New York City when you have those people who are stridently centrist, not quite hard left-leaning, but decided to become Democrats or were Democrats because, well, that's pretty much like Baltimore City. Baltimore in general, it's very Democrat. Maryland in general tends to be very Democrat until you get into certain areas and it's really not very Democrat. Martina Sasquatch, appreciate you coming on by, dude. Let's see. So anyway, New York City, very, very Democrat. And I think what it is they're doing the whole classic Charlton Heston, Ronald Reagan, a whole bunch of Dixiecrats and Blue Dogs and all those guys are going, you know what? I'm not with the Republicans so much. They do have some okay ideas. I don't mind. I'm not fully into it, but I'm really, 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 really not into the way that the Democrat Party is swinging. I do not ascribe to that line of thinking in any way, shape, or form, but I don't want to become a Republican. I will become an independent. Now, in my suck-ass state of Maryland, it means not. And I do mean like the British persuasion of nothing. It is not. Naught. It is not. You get nothing if you're not a Democrat or Republican in the state of Maryland. You get no primary vote. So as a libertarian, of which I was for a long time in the Baltimore City area, before I moved out to the county and switched my affiliation, I had no primary vote. Now, I don't know how that works in New York State. I do know for a fact that there are some places where if you're not one of the two parties, you're hosed. You don't get a primary vote. Now, the thing about it is I became a Dino, D-I-N-O, Democrat name only in Baltimore County for the very simple reason is I took to heart one of my friend's mothers who was very, very, very conservative. And we got to talk once, and she was telling me, oh, yeah, I'm a Democrat. I was like, Mrs. Bird, she's passed now. Mrs. Bird, you're not a Democrat. She goes, I know, but you know what? As a Democrat, I get to F Chuck with them twice. and she did not say F Chuck. So I took that to heart, and I was like, you know what? That's pretty good thinking. I think I can go with that one because, well, that one kind of really hits them where they lives.
You asshole.
Sound guy, stop.
Sarah Connor.
Oh, now you're doing the Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Dude, that's just disgusting. Okay, stop that. The Schwarzenegger. Dude, just stop, okay? Stop. Wow. He's just being disgusting. Anyway, so I think that's going to be kind of interesting when you have the whole ways things shaken out of the Democrat Party noticing they're really losing numbers, and they're going, you know what? Not Democrat, not Republican, independent. That's what we're doing. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting when you have the whole shakeup where a bunch of people rolling out going, you've left us. Like I said, Charlton Heston, Ronald Reagan, they say expressly, I didn't leave the party left me. Scrolly. There's been some really good explanation of the tariffs, and I gotta say, most wholeheartedly, those guys who are now losing the cash, well, you just gotta remember this very, very, very emblematically about anything about the stock market right now. And most people really, truly don't get this component of it, okay? The major component of the stock market is, never forget, 10% of the very not exactly broke, rich guys have 80% of the stock market. So this market correction right now is, of course, because the stock market is about 15 to 20% overvalued, and these guys have been like playing rich guy gambling, going, oh no, I will buy this stock at $75 a share, I'll write it up to $125 a share, and I'll sell it to some sucker who's not as wealthy as I am. And then another company opens up, I'll get the IPO, and I'll buy them for $500 a share, write it up to $1,500 a share, sell that to another sucker, and then compounding it, what they normally do is these guys live off of trust funds, okay? They have no income taxes. All the money that they have in the stock market, they don't take out. They literally go, okay, I made profit, pull it out, reinvest, boom. Immediately, it doesn't even count as a capital gain because they address the fact that they made scads of cash on there and they've reinvested at a lower number. So they've actually, air quotes, they've taken a loss. This is emblematic of how these a-holes get so unbelievably wealthy in the Congress right now. Nancy Pelosi was not worth a couple $100 million when she got in. How many, way too many years ago. She was not that blanking wealthy. But because the Congress guys could do stuff that would get both you and I thrown in the clique, read like writing IPOs, knowing about IPOs, and doing investment on IPOs, they don't get the stock exchange guys to go, that was naughty. You really shouldn't have done that. That was something that you really just... You dick. Yeah, it's not like the SEO guys go... What? Yeah, the Stock Exchange Commission, SEC, that's what it is, Stock Exchange Commission. It's not like they just go, what? No, they just go, oh, it's perfectly fine. You dick. Yeah. I think Sound Guy wrote some stocks and he's not happy about it because those guys to him are just dick. they're just dick. Okay, thanks, Sound Guy. You dick. He's got issues with the stock market. You dick. Oh, I think he just threw something at him. All right, that I'm just trying to decode his meandering of going through the sound files. This one is absolutely blanking hilarious. This is classic. The Communist Party in China is like, oh no, we're strong. You listen to us. You bend to our will. We control 1.4 million people. 1.4 billion people. You listen to our will. Slight problem for China. China is mostly 95, 97% export. They are a very small consumption market. Usually their consumption consists of bringing in food, bringing in support items, but not a whole hell of a lot of like buying stuff like we do because, oh yeah, all their manufacturing happens to be right blanking there. Ugh. Anyway, so China responds to Trump's Liberation Day, announces a 34% regulatory tariff on all U.S. imports. Well, I posted that up on April 4th, right? Today's news story's coming out. Today, this is going to happen Monday. Monday, tonight, April 9. It was going to not be just a little bit of... No, Trump is deciding he is just going to slap his bitch up like you don't want to know. He's just going to... He's really, really, really just going to...
Oh, you touch my...
Sound guy. No, he's not going to touch his tra-la-la, okay? He's not touching his...
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Stop that. Sound guy, stop that, okay? Stop. Sound guy, stop. I told him not to mess with the transporter. I told him it's not even adjusted right. Okay, stop. Don't beam anything in or out or stop. Wait. Today, April 9. What did Trump do? Trump just said, "Okay, I raised your ante," and he now has hit him with 104% tariffs, hitting China tonight. The stock market, remember that part I said about the 10% and the 80% and all that? Yeah. The rich guys are kirking out. The stock market took a 300-point hit, and they're going, ah! They are losing their collective, whatever you wish to call it. Wow. It is beyond amazing to see the correction taking place, going on right now in the stock exchange. It is beyond.
My biscuits are burning!
Oh, it's really.
Oh, you touch my...
Sound guy, what in the world are you doing? This is the kind of crap. No, you do not get a ding for that, okay? Yes, you are definitely pushing the envelope. Sound guy, you are really...
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
You guys are lucky. You don't have to live with this day in and day out. I got to deal with this every single freaking day. Sound guy, really?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
No, not even a little bit. No, it is. Yeah, it's that. It is not. You do not get a ding for that, dude. Exactly. You're pushing it. You're pushing it hard. And I'm not talking about like, your S hit got pushed in. I'm talking, well, your S hit did get pushed in. I don't know. All right. Anyway. Well, anyway, what I was thinking was shut them down. Make it really hurt. No Chinese imports for 90 days. Stop with this tariff crap. It's like, oh, okay, you want to play hardball. Stop the boat in the middle of the drink before it ever even hits our shores. Stop the boat offshore. All of them. They ain't coming from international waters to our place. I agree, gold star for sound. Stop that! You're going to encourage him. See? Now he's just all fired up. Sound guy, stop. Really. Just give me 2 seconds here. One of my cats is screaming at one of my other cats outside. 1 second. Mr. Oscar. Oh, he's upstairs. I think he wants out. Anyway, yeah. So one of my inside cats is yelling out the outside cats. I think he's actually upstairs with Mrs. Dude and wants out of my room. Sound guy. The cat is just being. Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. That's allowable. Yeah, the cat's being dickhead. But anyway, so like I said, China needs to know, no, in no uncertain terms, no. And they need to know in no uncertain terms, they truly are not the ones in charge. They're not driving the bus, okay? They're just the. All right, I'll allow that one. That wasn't bad. Dude. Why are you doing the dog chomp? Stop. Anyway, so basically, it's now come out to me. They're like, oh, it's gonna be a trade war. I'm sorry. When it comes down to the unzipping, and showing off what you got, I don't think that it's gonna be a bad case of Trump going, I'm coming up short. I think it's gonna be a case of okay, that wasn't the right one, sound guy. Maybe a little better, okay? Maybe just a little bit.
No. No. Hell no. No. I refuse. No.
Sound guy, what are you doing? And here it is, another episode where Sound Guy is going completely off the rails. It's another episode of him picking out every sound effect he can that doesn't really go correctly. That sound guy, come on, man. No, that was not even worthy. No, stop. Okay, anyway. What do you do? Okay, he's in the bees. Big splash, bull screaming, Back to the Future, twinkle. Bullet ricocheting. Dude, stop. Just stop. Breaking glass. Okay, could you maybe find something in a letter that's different from there? Please? Please.
But I pooped from there.
I'm not even going to I'm not going to justify that one with an answer. I'm not.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the...
When he does sound editing, sometimes it's just like, literally, it's like, you ever heard of something called Jungle Juice? That's literally where you go to the party and literally everybody starts dumping everything into the punch bowl. Keep them away from the monkey files. Yeah, the monkey files are never good. No monkeys, okay? That is just...
Come on, squeal, squeal. But I pooped from there.
Okay, he's deserved two face bombs in this one single episode of Dude After Dark. Oh my stars and garters, dude. You are really just overboard on this one. Wow. Man. Anyway, so he's really taking it to like, a new level of no, it's not meow. Yeah, it's definitely the second one. Definitely the second one. Anyway, this interlude brought to you by I don't even know if he's eating like gummies that contain anything good. I think it's just sugar. Him and Sound Guy and sugar is never a good combination. Anyway, so supposedly now China has cut off rare earth mineral exports to the U.S. in the trade war with Trump. Slight problem. If you look at Tennessee, I think it is, we have a area with more lithium than some places in China could ever hope to have. So China thinks, okay, we're going to stop you guys. It's like, Sound Guy, I got this one, okay? I got this one. So, Mr. Oh, he just dinged me for using the right one. Thank you, Sound Guy. I appreciate your approval. So this thinks that because now that all the restrictions from the EPA are now being rescinded, that we're going to be simply building so many electric vehicles rather than just going, you know what? It's time to run these things back, make a car like we made it back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Way less crap, okay? Way less crap. The DEF stuff, the particulate filters, the soot traps, all that stuff that's on the diesel trucks. Pop it off, okay? Deregulate your vehicles because you're not going to be told not to do that any longer because now you're going to have a whole lot less of these guys just going, Thanks, Sound Guy. I never mind. Way less EPA stuff. Okay, throwing the dog chomp and the growl and bark and stuff. Yeah, that's cute, but no, that's not. It wasn't worthy of a ding. No, it was not worthy of a ding. I think that was bite me, dickhead. All right. Anyway, so looking at things as it is right now, we also are seeing a lessening of need of these rare earth elements. So if we're going back to simply just burning dino as opposed to needing, way too expensive, way too hard to process, way too hard to obtain in the first place, rare, and they're really not rare minerals. They're just harder to obtain, which makes them, air quotes, rare. So it's not like this stuff is unattainable. It's just harder to get. It's not like you can't find it. It's just that it's harder to find, harder to get. And of course, there is more steps to make the things usable for modern tech. I can't even begin to tell you how horrific it is for some of those air quotes, rare earth minerals, of which they have the little kids processing this stuff, literally by being exposed to this crap all the time, digging it out of the ground with their hands, carrying it around, and, setting off, like, not even like the strongest component of it, to be then condensed and made the better part of it. These guys are basically doing slave labor in some of the worst possible areas in Africa to obtain these rare earth minerals and sound guy, that didn't even make sense, okay? No, that didn't even make sense. Ew, Dookie. Well, okay, it's moderately, sort of, almost, kind of, barely. No, it's not a ding. Okay, he was saying digging the crap out of the ground is like playing with Dookie. Sound guy, stop. That is not even close to being even somewhere reliably notable on the mark. Okay? Not. No. You're staying in there. You're staying in there. Okay? No. You're staying in there, okay? Don't act like a douchebag. Yeah, don't act like a douchebag. Oh, now he's applauding me. No, you're being snarky tonight, okay? You are. You're being excessively snarky. I'm suffering Schadenfreude with this thing. I cannot begin to tell you how much this chaps their butts, I'm sure, in certain areas of the entertainment industry, but I'm suffering Schadenfreude, which is taking joy in the suffering of others. And I gotta tell you what, Snow White with that Rachel, whatever her face is, it literally is Christmas time comes early. It is the gift that keeps on giving. Sound guy is in the closet. Cartman laughs at Dookie after death bite. I don't know. I was thinking more like Randy trying to take the massive Duke. Ow! Hot. That one always cracked me up. How many news person's length is it in girth and whatnot? Look at the Corings on that thing. Oh man, that to me was just humorous. Oh, that was one of Sound Guy's favorite, South Park episodes as well. So anyway, this Rachel, whatever her face is, oh my stars and garters, this is absolutely blanking hilarious. Snow White probably will not hit $100 million in the United States. That said, it will be lucky to get $200 million worldwide. The problem is, it's cost so much to make. Let's see. I think it costs I think it was like $300 million or something like that. It's not been a cheap movie to make because I've been doing constant reshoots. Because they send it in, the audience is like, it's crap. They're just not into it. It's like, it's crap. They're just not into it. But, I got to give this girl credit. She has done an amazing job of spending $400 million. That's not even her money. She spent $400 million. That's not even her money. Wow. That is phenomenal. Speaking of brown POSs, Snow Brown is flipping away. Snow Brown. What was it? Snow Woke is broke or something like that. One of my friends was saying Snow Woke is broke. This is the kind of stuff that you see that gives a reality check on all this. Oh, the decline in the United States. We can't handle this. It's going to be traumatic. Bad news for you guys, okay? Bad news for those screaming memeites who are seeing their stocks creeping and crawling down into normalcy because it's been so overvalued. Yeah, well, this is coming in from a website I normally don't utilize, but the GellerReport.com. China's stock market sees the worst crash, largest one-day decline since 1997. Wow. On April 7, 2025, the Chinese stock market experienced its worst single-day crash since the 2008 global financial crisis. That's 2 to 3 different dates, okay? With a decline of over 12%. Concurrently, the Hong Kong stock market saw a significant drop of 13.2%, making it the largest one-day decline since 1997. If the Chinese yuan, or renminbi, or the people's money, collapses, we'll see a global flight into U.S. Treasury bonds. Translation, the Chinese, who we're owing a lot of money to, are going to buy our debt. What a masterful stroke is that from Donald Trump? Oh, yeah, we're in debt. We owe a lot of money to the Chinese. Oh, yeah, the Chinese are going to buy back our debt. That is masterful. Other global markets are also experiencing declines with varying degrees of severity across the countries, such as Taiwan, Japan, Italy, and Singapore. Stock markets today. This is from the Spectator Index at Spectator Index. Stock markets today. Hong Kong, 13.6. Taiwan, 9.6. Japan, 9.5. Italy, 8.4. Singapore, 8. Sweden, 7. China, 7. Switzerland, 7. Germany, who's basically the financial powerhouse in the EU, and everybody else is like pretty much destitute because that's just how it is in the EU. They're defending on them because they're suffering
Death! By snoo-snoo!
sound guy. It is not snoo. No, the EU is suffering.
Death! By...
Okay, I'll allow that. I'll allow that death by snoo. Death by snoo. That one's actually pretty well incorrect. Anyway, said Germany 6.8, Spain 6.4. These are all negatives. Netherlands 6.2. Australia is suffering something hard. 6.2. France 6.1. UK 5.2. Malaysia is going down as well. Let's get the full list. So I'm clicking over to Twitter. Oh man, there's like a whole list. 4.3%. Philippines 4.3%. India 4.1%. Russia 3.8%. Saudi Arabia 3.3%. Turkey 2.8%. So all these guys are losing a lot of money, and I'm sure they're not happy about it. So London stock market dropped even further just minutes later by 6.1% before rebounding slightly a few hours later. The Pan-European stocks, or STOXX, slumped 5.8% opening on Monday morning. The U.S. stock market took a dive, but it's a knee-jerk response, which is good for American tariffs. The market has crashed, as people are saying in the media and on television, but in reality, the average price-to-earnings ratio at S&P 500 right now is still 25.1. It's still about 40% higher than the average historical of 16. So it's 25 as opposed to 16. That's not historically low. It's a historical average, which means this Armageddon stocks are still real expensive compared to track throughout the course of history. The Dow Jones is trading at about 38,000, where it was almost a year ago to the day. It's still 82% over its value projected from the last 5 years. Remember that part I told you about 10% playing 80%? Yeah, it's a rich guy gambling gambit where they're just playing off each other, making scads of cash. Sound guy, death by flying monkey bite needed. Oh man, death by flying monkey bite. That's all we need. No, stop. Okay, that's just wrong. Next thing you know, there's going to be all kinds of just disgusting noises coming from him. Sound guy. before you know it, there'll be monkey farts. Wow. Just wow.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks.
Mr. Meeseeks, monkey. Okay, sound got wrong bite. I think he's just pulling stuff out.
Come on, squeal.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
Okay, so now we know who was with Mr. Monkey, Mr. Meeseeks. I have no clue where he's going with this stuff, man. No clue. Anyway, this is kind of one of those interesting things I find so emblematic of the just unbelievable difference between the former president and the current resident of the White House. Joe Kaka was looking pretty not so great, and it can be said that, well, he was looking like total. Yeah, so we're talking about. All right, so anyway, Joe Kaka, obviously, suffering, mental decline, and that's being kind to say it like that. Suffering mental decline, and obviously doing really, really poorly. Looking like, I gotta say something, but yeah. So anyway, Joe Kaka is not that guy. Anyway, so there was a medical examination performed upon Donald Trump. And Trump had received his annual medical test this Friday at Walter Reed Medical Center, which is just up the road from Washington, D.C. I don't know if you know the area in Maryland, but essentially Washington, D.C., if you look at the state of Maryland, it kind of falls along the Potomac, and D.C. is literally like a diamond that's been cut out of the shoreline, so there's really only like half a diamond, like a really ragged edge. Well, anyway, the Bethesda Naval is literally, you go straight up Wisconsin Avenue, which is kind of over a ways. So like the White House is here, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You got to go along to like about 28th, 29th Street or something like that. And then you hit Wisconsin. Then you go straight up there from Georgetown area. You go literally straight up. You hit Friendship Heights. Then you hit Bethesda. Then obviously you go beyond it, you hit Rockville and Gaithersburg and all the rest of those other areas. But anyway, Bethesda is literally like this second major town north of Washington, D.C. as you're going up into the bougie area, the really not broke area of Maryland. Anyway, so he went there, quote, "I am pleased to report that my long-scheduled annual physical examination will be done at Walter Reed Army Medical Center on Friday of this week," Trump in his posting on Truth Social. "I have never felt better, but nevertheless, these things must be done." So they basically did all this looking at him, testing, probing, what have you. He's going to turn 79 in June. He'll be 82 at the end of his term, making him the oldest person to hold the office by only a few months above former President Joe Kaka. So, former president. Anyway, thanks, sound guys. So, talking about. We're not talking about him. We're talking about Trump. Okay, stop. Trump has disclosed little information on his physical health since leaving the office in 2020. In November 2023, his campaign produced a note from his own physician stating that the former president was in, quote, excellent health. This comes as President Trump's approval rating has risen to near record levels, despite several days of outrage from Democrats, establishment Republicans, and mainstream media outlets over the president's ambitious trade changes. You got to pull the Band-Aid off quick, man. There's no way to fix this thing other than simply taking the bull by the horns and addressing it hardcore. Patriot Fever. I could source some horse tranquilizer for you if you want some, dude. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be needed. You never know, man. I think Sound Guy might actually have some. Dude, stop, okay? You know, before you know it, we're going to be dealing with a big pile of... And then,
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
yeah, see what happens when you play with the... Sound Guy, stop playing with the horse poop. Anyway, according to a poll conducted by JL Partners in collaboration with Daily Mail, so basically a British newspaper, surveyed 1,000 registered voters from March 31 to April 3, Trump's support rating increased even after sweeping tariffs were imposed on dozens of trading partners on April 2. Translation, he said this. He's been saying this. There's been interviews where Trump was talking about this back in the early 1980s, saying the trade deficit was a sham and he was going to fix things if he ever went into office. So it's nothing new with the guy. He's been nothing but consistent. So it indicated his approval rating increased to 53%, a 4-point improvement from last week's poll when it was 49%. As if we can't do math. The Daily Mail termed the outcome as surprising. Oh, fancy that. The guy's following through on what he said he was going to do. Oh, that's just truly amazing.
Why? It's spicy.
I don't know about being spicy, Sound Guy, but it's the guy following through and doing what he said he's going to do, okay? It's not like Sound Guy could ever really, truly see the things for being what it is, except for just him being just Sound Guy. So the favorability rating among voters aged 18 to 29 is improved by an amazing 13 points since March 7. Maybe could it be that he said, look, you guys are getting screwed. You're getting screwed bad. And I want to fix things so your life improves over the long haul and you're not stuck in the same situations as we have currently and your parents had to deal with. I'm going to fix these things. Oh, Patriot Fever, don't put that in the room. No, that is bad. Bad juju. Never, ever tempt the Sound Guy with that one. That's just, oh no. Yeah, he's gonna be doing obnoxious things with that, okay? Just...
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
That may have been for the horses. Okay, anyway, so his numbers are improving. I think what it is the younger guys are seeing Trump is actually, like a good ally and trying to do things to help them on the long haul. Speaking of things doing on the long haul, that this kind of stuff really, really cracks me up. Trump being in the executive. Okay, you got to remember your three legs of government, okay? You have your legislative, you have your judicial. What's the third leg of the federal government? Oh yeah, it's the executive. So, as the executive, as the boss, he can allocate, he can defer, he can raise funds in certain ways, he can deploy funds in certain ways. The biggest thing is because he's the boss, he can fire people. Like, people tend to forget, like Reagan caused such a huge kerfuffle when he fired a bunch of striking airline controller guys. Why? Because they were required to go back at work. And they were like, you know what, we're union guys. We don't have to go back at work. You can't do anything about it. Yeah. And Reagan was like, well, your S-hit can't. And they were like, ah! Yeah. Reagan literally fired, I forget the number, it's like 3,000 or 5,000 air traffic controllers because they would not return to work and do the job as they were mandated to do. So, I think Trump hit canned like 18,000 probationary employees, and that's just the start, folks. Okay, when you get this Doge thing really cranking up and really doing what it needs to do, you're gonna see some real, you're gonna see the real hit stuff because now I don't have a clean version of that soundbite from Back to the Future, but let's just say that you're gonna see some really real hit. Real hit, okay? It's about the nicest way I can say it. So that's about the easiest way I can say it. So you're going to see some real hit, okay? That's about the nicest way I can say it. Sound guy, were you like sitting behind the dragster with the microphone? Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, you're going to see some real hit because he's the boss. So, coming in from Breitbart.com, the Supreme Court blocks an order requiring the Trump administration to reinstate thousands of federal workers. Why? Because he's the boss. And because the Democrats have no real way to stop the House, the Senate, and the White House right now, they are using the judicial side of things because they installed like 450 or 250 judges or something like that, and even bragged about it. They're like, he's not going to do anything because we got our guys in there. Yeah, he won't be able to do anything. So Washington AP, so Associated Press, which is amazing to me because I thought they were kind of blocked out of stuff. Supreme Court on Tuesday blocked an order for Trump administration to return to work thousands of federal employees who were let go in mass firings aimed at drastically downsizing the federal government. The Justices Act and Administration Emergency appealed the ruling by a federal judge in California ordering more than 16,000 probationary employees be reinstated while the lawsuit plays out because the firings didn't follow federal law. No, it followed federal law. You just don't like the fact you can't stop him. The effect of the High Court's order keep employees of 6 federal agencies on paid administrative leave for now. Justices Sotomayor, raging leftard, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, who can't tell what a woman is, said that they would have kept the judge's order in place. How surprising is that? A second lawsuit filed in Maryland, big mystery there, also resulted in an order blocking the firings of those 6 same agencies, plus roughly a dozen more. But the order only applies in 19 states and the District of Columbia that sued the administration. So that means, if I do the quick math, 31 states basically get to tell, the federal government, yeah. The Justice Department is separately appealing the Maryland order. Sure. At least 24,000 probationary employees were terminated since Trump took office, the lawsuits claim, though the government has not confirmed that number. Translation, it's a fabrication. U.S. District Judge William Alsup, A-L-S-U-P, Alsup, in San Francisco. It's in San Francisco. Wouldn't that be... That would be different, I'm thinking. I'm thinking that would be different. It would probably be Alsup. It's Judge William Alsup. Yeah, it's San Francisco, okay? It's just bull meow, yeah. Complete and total, yeah, bull splat. Anyway, so this guy in San Francisco ruled that determinations were improperly directed by the Office of Personnel Management and its acting director. He ordered rehiring of the departments in Veteran Affairs, Agriculture, Defense, Energy, the Interior, and Treasury. So I've heard it expressed that the Veterans Affairs guys picked up scads of people and the service went bad. Sound dude got nothing on a dude Reagan impression. Oh, man. Anyway, so essentially, you're not going to get it, dude. Nice try. He said he's appalled that the employees were told they're being fired for poor performance despite receiving glowing evaluations just months earlier. These guys are just brown nosing all hell out of each other to prop up fake farcical. How else would I say this? Fake farcical. Just. I hope that they weren't doing that in public. Anyway, they're just slapping it around, shall we say? Jeez, sound guy, just slapping it around. Okay, just slapping it around. Wow. What else were they doing in San Francisco? Stop. I do not need a copyright hit, okay? But yeah, they were probably doing da 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 da. Wow, Blue Oyster, the Blue Oyster Dance Bar. Wow, definitely San Francisco. Let's see, scrolly. I vehemently, I gotta say it like this. I vehemently hate this woman. Why? Because when she was upstate, she was in a red area and she was pretty blank and conservative, okay? For New York standards, she was about Ronald Reagan, red, shall we say, okay? Not fully red, but red enough. So, since she's become governor of the state of New York, she's now full-on brown-nosing that little speck down in the bottom called New York City, which comprises, like 60% of the 50% of the population. I forget what it is. It's a good chunk of the population, but it is not all the land area of New York State. New York is not a small state, mind you, and these people are basically just full-on, hardcore, all the rest of this happy horse mess, beholden to the Democrats in New York City. So, MLN.com, New York Governor Kathy Hochul doubles down more gun control for law-abiding New Yorkers. Why? Because she's just an absolute C unit. Okay, that's about the nicest way I could say it. She's an absolute cork-juggling C unit. So what did she just sign? It's a ban on pistol converters. Whatever the hell that is. Adds pistol converters, so devices that can allegedly turn a semi-auto pistol into a full auto. Oh. She's talking about a Glock switch. So what a Glock switch is, on the back of the upper part of a Glock pistol is called the slide. When you run that back, there's a little piece that slides inside a little area of which there's a cutout in the back of the slide. It's called a backing plate. So the backing plate clicks in there, and it holds stuff in there by springs pushing against it. What the switch does is it takes the place of that block and sticks out the back, and it literally has a switch on it. When you flick the switch up, it shoots one shot per trigger press. When you flick the switch down, it becomes a machine pistol where you hold the trigger back, and it fires until either you let go of the trigger or it runs out of ammo, and it's probably running at somewhere between 12 to 1,400 rounds per minute. Now, to put it in perspective, a MAC-10, of which I actually have the sound effect right here, is going to be 32 rounds in a second, 0.3. So 1 1/3 seconds. That was a 32-round stick of 9mm ammo fired through a MAC-10 with a suppressor. This Glock probably does that same amount of ammo in about a second. It has almost no controllability, and it's basically just, for all intents and purposes, a bullet hose. Now, Glock actually did make those for a while, until such time that everybody was like, yeah, it's a cute toy, but it's uncontrollable. It's like a race car that has no gas pedal. It's just a light switch. So either you're sitting there going da 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 da, or you're at full throttle and there's nothing in between. You're either at full throttle or nothing. That's literally what happens when you're running one of these Glock switches, because the sound is just It's just like a buzzsaw. There is absolutely no break in the thing until it's out of ammo. And you started from here, and you're probably up here by the time you're done because the thing kicks so fast, so hard, and it's just a steady push. You really got to be able to, like, seriously hang on to them. They are almost uncontrollable, even with professional guys that have shot them scads at times. It's really just like a toy, and it's a toy you use outside because if you use it in the indoor range, probably half your rounds are going to be going ding, 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 ding into the ceiling. Don't ask me how I know about this, but I've been to gun ranges where they don't allow machine guns for exactly that reason. Somebody was like, "Hey, watch this! I'm Joe Bobby Badass." Boy, oops. And the two girls that he was trying to show off to were going, "Huh, that was so cool." And he's going, "Yeah, that was really cool." And they're like, "Get out, get out!" And they got some new ventilation in their ceiling. So anyway, so they're now doing that one. And then the list of rapid fire mods is bump stocks, binary triggers, simple plastic blocks, which basically become the clock switch. Credit card tracking of gun purchases. That sounds kind of like crossing over into federal territory because now they're really starting to overreach. I would stomp on that one hard. New dealer warning signs and paperwork. The bill requires gun stores to post big warning signs. Caution, guns are guns. I detest this cork juggling C unit. Hand out papers every buyer about the dangers of firearm ownership. The new language is more aggressive and clearly designed to stigmatize lawful gun ownership. So Hochul says it's working, but at what cost? The governor celebrated what she calls a 53% drop in shootings since 2022, crediting her administration's $2 billion spending spree on law enforcement and gun control programs, but many question those numbers and whether the drop had anything to do with policies like credit card tracking or warning posters in gun stores. Or, if people are smart, they go out to like a better state, they buy something out there, they bring it back to New York, which is illegal, and they don't talk about it. You see, as long as there is no fence around your state, you cork juggling C units, people don't have to buy the stuff there if they're willing to take the step to being the outlaw when only outlaws have guns. The background checks for ammo still broken. Let's see. People over profits, politics over free. It's this whole article is like, kind of a little bit all over the place, but basically what it is New York is trying to be more than California ever was. And the only thing they're doing is they're chasing out the population because people are tired of being trod upon in their liberties in the Constitution. That's how that one works. Scrolly. I think I've reached the end of my line of travel here. Anything else going on? No, that was it. Except for that thing I was talking about earlier where I actually posted something on Facebook. I said, never forget 10% of the rich guys have 80% of the stock market. I think I'm going to close on that one because that is kind of a good closing point to remember because, well, these guys really are truly playing the game. And that's just how it is, man. They're playing the game and they're bemoaning the fact that, well, all their bazillions aren't worth bazillions anymore. Okay, coming up on music time. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know you got many other things to do on a Tuesday, but decided to hang out with me, and I truly appreciate your kind attention. So I'm going to break off on this one. So I will see you guys next week. Get a gold star for attendance. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you next time. And as soon as I can find the button how to quit this thing. It's a little strange on a phone, but I do have plans to get a better computer down the road. I am currently doing some market research, translation, going in the store and looking at stuff and going, that looks good. Well, that one doesn't look too bad. But I don't want Windows 11, and Windows 10 is losing support. Anyway, Ego Cape Thundering is always, you love it. I'll catch you guys next week. Good stuff like that there. I will see you then. I got to dig out Binky, too, for the next time. Catch you guys later. Have a good week, and I will see you later. See you guys.